Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about? Put it in a SQL database for your records retention policy and moved on. So,
why do you think that's so common, though? Is it because people just don't want to let go of their legacy data for reporting and the fear they're going to get in trouble?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so if your data is really good, I understand it. But most people, whenever we start looking at data, like the problem is when we move from a completely different system, the fields aren't going to match up either. And so generally we would say put it on an archive table so you have it for your audit, but you don't really need to rely on it unless it's, I come from oil and gas. We had to because of the law, but we actually put ours in a SQL database so that our auditors could get to it because our records retention policy was super strict. Like we had auto archive rules in the platform that after so long automatically archived, deleted, because they were like, if it's there, it's fair game. So as soon as our records retention hits.
Yeah, it's the whole part of discovery, right? Like, give us whatever you have. If it's not there, it can't be discovered.
Yeah, sorry, that was our policy, 7 years.
I've been thinking about doing the same thing in my PDI because, I'm always doing crazy stuff. I was like, and I see all these updates about archive, auto archive capabilities, and there's actually anonymization capabilities now where it can just go scramble the data for you, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, but they're trying to meet a price point, and we always overestimate on data migration because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And could it be super simple? Maybe, but when it's 50,000 records that they want to migrate, they can't tell me what kind of data it is. They can't tell me what kind of records they are. Because them telling me they were all incidents does not mean the same thing. Because were they really?
Yeah, and it's just a mess.
Yes.
This is your chance for a PSA on data migration.
Don't do it unless you have a regulation for the law.
Don't do it. And even then, there's, like you said, I did in my past too. You got a SQL database, go report on it.
And by data, I don't mean like your asset data. I mean your old ticket data.
Yeah.
Like, you really need an incident from 2012? Probably not.
I'd say the only, you could make a strong case, not maybe convince me, is that if you were trying to do predictive intelligence and you needed some back intelligence, maybe.
If you knew that garbage was garbage. As long as you didn't know it wasn't garbage.
So are you saying, Allison, to anything that's not ServiceNow is garbage?
No, I'm saying that even people that start on ServiceNow.
Oh, yeah.
Because the very first company I worked for when we started on ServiceNow, if I could go back and know what I know now, I wouldn't have built half the things I built. But I didn't know at the time that, I have, 14 years of knowledge now that I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
I think we all have those, yeah. Or I look back at some of my first videos and just oh Lord, that's out there.
I actually migrated people from ServiceNow to a new version of ServiceNow because either there was a company spinoff or do you remember when Eureka came out? Most people pre-Eureka had to re-implement because it was so different.
I don't remember that. I'm post Eureka.
Oh, okay. Well,
what a cool thing to say. I'm post Eureka.
Eureka. But yeah. So I have re-implemented even ServiceNow where it was garbage and it's what. Unfortunately, it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to fix underlying problems if you continue them. So.
Yeah. I remember before ServiceNow, there was a product, I'll say the name of it, was called EasyVista. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I've replaced EasyVista twice.
Yeah, so I have too. I replaced it. I got telecom in the middle while I had EasyVista, so I tried loading it into the CMDB, their CMDB, and managing it there. And what was nice is I learned a lot, so that when we went to do it in ServiceNow, I was much better off. But yeah, that was it was not easy because the thing with EasyVista at the time, you couldn't make database schema changes. You had to go through their support. So
yeah, so when I did it, they were convinced I couldn't do something with like one workflow, because in EasyVista they had 600 workflows for like one thing.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like showing it to me, and like that's how they had to do it. Like it wasn't
Right.
because we weren't doing it in a logical way. That's just how the background logic worked. And I was just like, oh my, like I would hate to maintain that.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I had one admin and 2 contractors when we had EasyVista, and the one permanent guy,
Yeah.
he had some choice words for the workflow engine. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was, we needed ServiceNow, we just couldn't afford the price point at the time, and EasyVista was like, it wasn't Sharewell, it wasn't Remedy, so.
Yeah, the people who used EasyVista still used Lotus Notes for their email too, though. So.
Oh yikes!
And
I've never had the fortunate experience of using Lotus Notes.
Yeah, and they had change management through Lotus Notes. It was not meant for that, by the way.
So is it like a shared mailbox that all the changes went to? Okay.
Pretty much. So.
Yikes.
I was a witch when I showed them change management.
What did the guy say, that sufficiently advanced technology should seem like magic?
Yes.
I think that I'm paraphrasing. I'm not getting the quote right.
They were my favorite customer, though. So, no offense to anyone else I've worked with, but
You have a lot of favorite customers.
No, that one's like the top favorite.
Okay, we got to delve into that. What made them the top favorite?
Well, one, I had to spend like every other week with them for like a year. So like you just get to know people. But after we got past the initial, like, they accepted that ServiceNow was like their future. Because at first they were very like, we didn't pick this. We just want you to do exactly what we were doing before. And
Don't change anything.
We knew that wasn't an option. But like we just had really good like trust. Like they trusted me in my opinion, and like when I gave them advice, I'd be like, here's why. They'd be like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't it was at first, but we got past it. But it was also when I was pregnant, and they threw me a baby shower and like all these things. Like for Go Live, we had a running joke about Grumpy Cat, and so I got them Grumpy Cat golden books.
What is Grumpy Cat?
The little meme, Grumpy Cat.
Is it a TikTok thing?
No, this is Grumpy Cat died a couple of years ago. And
yeah, that Grumpy Cat. Yes, yeah.
And what was bad is like I hadn't worked with them in probably a year when he died, and they all texted me. And we're like, R.I.P. But I mean, we had like it was one of those where we had built like such a good relationship and trust that like we just had project after project after project, and they wanted the same team, and Jake that you met was on it with me, I think, because I usually drag him in most of my projects, so I feel like he was on it. But
that's good. I feel like every project would be nice if it was that way.
Yeah. Well, and that was back when you could go in person, and so you have the after hour happy hour or dinner, or you're during Go Live, you're like on site,
Yeah.
I've
never had that experience. I mean, I was on site for mine, but was the vendor on site? I think. No, I don't think they did come. They came afterwards with cake.
Yeah. I mean, it helped that I also got discounts in their store, but no.
Oh, it's that customer. Okay. You've talked about them before on the very, very beginning.
But yeah, I mean, regardless of that point, because it really didn't do much for me at the time. But
it was golf, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But they were just good people. I mean, they were easy to work with. Like, the first month was rough, because like I said, they weren't super excited about the change. But afterwards, I mean, they were just super easy to work with. And like...
Did you have to migrate any data from EasyVista?
Nope.
Nope. So they got their SQL database, and that was it.
They didn't want to touch. They wanted to set it on fire.
Yeah, and then talk about a weird mapping. That would have been a weird mapping. Yeah.
Right. And the only thing we brought over was some CI data, because they weren't going to do discovery. We were integrating with It was another weird one, but I don't remember what it was. And they had like multiple sources, so we had to like create a data lake to us go pull a file once a day. It was, yeah, but that was, they were like, guys, we're so behind on technology. This is all we can do. So we worked with it. I think they finally got on Office, like right before my last project with them was over. So,
gosh, did Lotus Notes, does it have Excel and like equivalents to Excel and Word and PowerPoint?
No, we had to use a Google Sheet.
Oh my! I use Google Sheets, as you know, but yeah.
Yeah, but it was just funny because we were trying to bridge gaps of basic technology. So
yikes! So it'd be interesting to know how they, because knowing they're EasyVista, they were probably cheap. Knowing they were still on Lotus Notes, they're probably cheap. How did they make the case for ServiceNow? Do you know?
I don't remember, but I mean, all we were doing was ITSM, and then we did SPM after it. So our first project was ITSM, our second one was SPM, and then we had like this small like middle one that was almost like a custom app. I don't remember what it was for. I probably have it in my Google Drive somewhere, but like we did so many projects with them. Like just
what you need? What's next?
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we tell them what was next. I'm like, here's what's next.
I think if you've done a good job and developed that relationship, there should always be like a what's next, because there's always something to do.
Yeah. I mean, we had one point where I think we just did like a bunch of enhancements of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, they were, like I said, really easy to work with and trusted us. And while they may be cheap on the technical side, I mean, the company's not cheap. Like
their products aren't cheap.
They have plenty of funds. It was more of they invested more on the sales side and the R&D. They were like, we are the redheaded stepchild. Like, we are last to get... They were like, unless it impacts sales, we are...
You don't get funding.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Made a decent case for it.
It's unfortunate that that's more common than it is not common. And it takes a vulnerability or a breach or a compromise to, like, for somebody... And the CIO and the CISO get fired, and then new people get brought in, and then the money comes to IT.
Yeah. But like I said, however they made the case, it's not because they were hurting for cash. They just were like, our job is to make the seller's job easy, and if we can't do that, then we get money.
Or if the sellers are waiting on us because EasyVista is slow or something, yeah.
Exactly. But that's why I was like, then how do you not have Office?
I don't think I've ever had a job where I didn't have Office.
I had one job. Well, no, we still had Office, I guess, because we used like the Google form of everything, like Google Chat, Google Mail, but it was for our company. It was just through Google. But I guess we did have like Office. Well, maybe we didn't. That was a long time ago. I don't remember. That was the only one.
It probably meant people were going to Google or installing their own Office, to get around it. So, shadow IT.
We didn't have email through them, so we might have had like everything but Outlook. So,
did you ever have a job where you didn't have email? Like, did you have a pre-email job?
When I was a kid, I mean.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I worked not professionally. Like as a kid, I worked at a day camp every summer, and I worked at soccer camps as a counselor. And then I worked at a tanning salon in college.
Spreadsheet.
No, I mean, all I did was work at a tanning salon, but I didn't have an email. I got my shift like once a week on a piece of paper.
I miss tanning salons.
So I worked in one that was called Tan and Tone.
Hold on, just 1 second. Okay, you were saying.
So I worked at one called Tan and Tone America, and it's like where all my stories. Yeah, it's where my sorority sisters work. And they had the toning machines where you'd like lay on a thing and you'd like hold it back here and it would like move your legs for you. And so at the time, you know, I was in my early 20s. I was little bitty thing because I played sports. Like I was maybe 110 pounds soaking wet, like teeny tiny. And so like, you know, you need to go and learn how to use these because, you know, after, if we're slow up here and there's a lot of people toning, so they're like having me like lay on these beds. So it's like moving. I was like, does this actually work? They're like, you have to remember there's some people with like mobility problems where they can't do these exercises or they just have never been able to. And so they were showing me some of like the success stories. It was super cool. Like there was some lady that, I don't know if she got like an accident, like couldn't do anything. And she had gained quite a bit of weight and she lost like 100 pounds doing these machines.
Wow.
And could work out again because she had been injured or whatever. And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, that's awesome that it's like
that's a good success story. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they were like, sometimes people just can't, because we actually had a lot of older people that would come in and who just couldn't do some of the stuff anymore. But there was like this roller table. Like if no one was in there, I'm like, can I go sit on the roller table and just like let it roll my back?
Like a massage table?
Yeah, but it was for your back and it just rolled up and down and
Would you say you had more toning business than tanning business?
I don't know, it's about equal because if you tone, they also had like a daycare that was included. And so it was like, yeah, so like when you toned, it was like a circuit. And then if you had kids, there was like where you could like leave your kids. And so we used to draw straws on who had to be in the day.
You had to watch the kids.
I wanted to do it. So, yeah.
Where was this? In Oklahoma?
This is in Edmond. Yeah, in Oklahoma, right outside Oklahoma City. But the best was we had to try all the products because we needed to be able to tell people our thoughts. So like if we were completely dead, they'd have us like go in a tanning booth or whatever. The only one I refused to do was a spray tan because they just grossed me out. And after cleaning it,
we have to come back to that one.
Yeah, I'll never get a spray tan. But so when you would walk, and they had real crazy ones. They had ones where you stand up, ones where you lay down, ones for just your legs. Like all kinds of different tanning machines. Like the super high ones that are only like 5 minutes. But this lady, she got a spray tan, like whatever frequency you get a spray tan. And in our waiting room, there was a video of like how to stand. Like I always think of Ross on Friends when he just keeps turning the wrong way, you know, and keeps getting sprayed. So you have to like, it beeps and you have to like stand and then you have to like do one arm and then 2 arms and then you have to turn because you have to make sure you get all the angles. Well, there was a video in the lobby that if it's your first time, we have you watch the video so you know what to expect. And this lady literally came, whatever cadence it is, because I don't remember, would practice in the lobby with the video. And we're like, lady, like you come in here every 4 weeks or whatever it is. And she'd just be in the lobby, just like practice.
I love that. It's like her one outing the week.
I know. And we would just be like, how do you not know by now? But, yeah.
My favorite tanning bed was the stand-up one. I didn't like to lay down in them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch anything. It was really my preference.
The weirdest thing is we had a lady, I'm convinced she was drunk and passed out, but like she was in there like a really long time. I was like, this is not my pay grade, where's my manager? I'm like, hi. We think she's passed out. We don't really know.
So you had to go in?
I didn't. No. I was like, I'm not, nope. I make $8 an hour. This is not for me.
It's actually pretty good.
It was in when was that? 2005?
Okay, that's not that good, yeah. I was making $8 in 2001.
Well, this was at like a tan and tone place. It's not like I was, in a career.
You weren't doing the spray tanning.
No, we had a machine that did it. Like literally the Friends episode is.
So it is a machine. I've always wondered if it's people or machine.
Well, you can do it either way, but at the salons, most of the time it's like a machine.
And does it actually look good? I've never seen one. Like,
I've seen people with good spray tans. It's after cleaning the walls, like you had to like, it had a self-cleaning and then you had to like squeegee the walls and you would just see like the brown just, I was like, I'm good, like I'll just be pale or I'll just go outside for a couple hours,
When that was popular, Neutrogena made this one you bought at Walgreens.
Yeah.
And I went and tried. I used to be really self-conscious when I moved up here from Florida, being too pale. Now, obviously, I don't care. But I would put it on and it would turn me orange. And I was just like, well, I don't want to be orange. Yeah. So I stopped using them. And
I tanned in high school because that was like the thing. And we had like the little stickers, so there'd be a little tan outline.
Yeah. Now I've just got the outline of my shoulders. Well, basically where my tank top is. So when I'm swimming, I'm tan like on my shoulders and with a little line through them.
Yeah. David has a nice farmer's tan with his shirt tan line.
Yeah. It's amazing when you get older, the less and less you care about certain things. Yeah. And tanning is one I just couldn't care about. Hair maintenance, still, I'm very anal about hair maintenance, but especially for guys. Clean those ears, guys. What was this?
I said clearly I am with my hair. My hair is so long. I took it down the other day and was like, oh my gosh.
That's what it does. It sits there and grows.
I know.
Now, did you guys sell like post tanning products that you could get commission on or something?
Oh.
No.
I mean, I'm sure some people did, not what I did. I mostly like cleaned beds, watched kids, and helped ladies.
It's so weird there's a daycare.
It wasn't like a daycare. It was more like, hey, if your kid's in here, like we'll watch them while you do your toning.
I would just give them Benadryl. Just be like, here.
I mean, it's not like we were toning for hours. It was like a 40-minute circuit.
I don't care. Knock them out. Knock them out.
Did you ever see the YouTube video of nap time?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
I will send it to you for after this, because, yeah.
I remember nap time. I didn't like it. I hated nap time. I never slept. And actually, I got into trouble. I did things Allison's disappeared.
Sorry.
Hurry back.
Sneeze.
Huh?
I just sneezed.
Oh. Yeah, I was not a fan of nap time. Even like last week, I came in one day after, did I swim or run? I can't remember what I did that day. And I was like, let me just sit on the chair for a minute because I'm just feeling really drained.
Yeah.
And then once I was sitting there, I was like, well, let me put my head back and like try to just shut my eyes for a minute. And I couldn't sleep. There's something in me that can't take naps.
I can't. Well, I can, but I also have to be like not angry.
Can you sleep on a plane?
If I am exhausted, yes. And if someone I know is with me, yes. But if I am on a plane by myself, I cannot sleep on a plane. So that's nap time.
Hey, parents.
Okay, that's an interesting start. From Chris Capel. This is 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I have a popsicle. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, I'll watch that later. I had to click on it, sorry.
It's fine. It's really funny. So,
Well, we have, we're actually over now, somehow. We went up from not having this to having it and being over. Do you need to run somewhere?
No, my next meeting is your same meeting. So.
Oh, okay. Anything new on the ServiceNow front?
Let's see, we just talked Friday. So
You've got a webinar coming up.
I do
November 30th.
November 30th, 11 Eastern.
Which we just heard about from marketing in our sales meeting. Have you any Vancouver education yet?
Not yet. I still have to do my deltas. So. I have to do my open enrollment, do my deltas.
I did that last week, yes. I'm passive. I just let everything renew except for my HSA.
I'm changing my dental. This is so stupid. My dental. I just got the cheap plan because I only go like on my normal 6 months because fortunately I don't have issues. But there's no dentist in my town, and so I have to switch to the other one because I'm not driving 40 minutes to the dentist. So
Mine's out of network too, but I still go to the same one. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, no, mine, like, they were like, we won't even take you out of network. The one that David goes to, and the one that my son goes to. Like,
oh, they wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
So, and I don't know why, but whatever.
I just love that
$4 more. But
somebody else is going to tell you what doctors you can go to. Like, no, sorry.
I'm not going to get on that. I also have one eye doctor I can go to.
Yeah, that's just not how healthcare should work.
Thankfully, I like them, but you know.
The health insurance industry is just all kinds of wrong.
Yeah. I thought about getting an HSA because I want to get LASIK. But
I wish I had signed up for an HSA sooner, because I'm close to having like almost 10,000 set aside, because you can only put so much in a year, and I'm like, and that's not even that much. If you think about a true medical emergency, like a heart attack or a stroke, you're going to spend way over 10,000. But how nice of a feeling it is to know that it's just there, and you're not going to pull it out for like some emergency at home, because you can't. It's just for healthcare. So I like it. I recommend it. You should do it.
Yeah, I might. Well, I have till Friday.
And the other cool thing, I don't know if they tell you this with HSA, but I found out after mine went over a certain amount, is then you can actually pair it with an investment account, so that it spills over into an actual investment account, and you earn money like dividends. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's tax-free.
Nice. Okay, well, I actually am lying, and someone would like to speak to me.
Is it Connor?
No, it's Nick.
The Nick?
The Nick.
Okay. Well, tell him you were just on with Justin, and we're sorry you're running late, but
no, he just pinged me asking if I was free.
Okay.
So.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for not meeting and then meeting with me. Appreciate that.
All right.
All right. Talk later.